What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Nana Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone is having a legendary week. Division champions, baby. Say that again. Division champions. How's it feel, Niner Empire? Of course, we're going to break down this amazing Brock Purdy. Look, I'm going to say this on air for the first time. Hopefully, this reaches somebody. If anybody can get me a white throwback, especially that says Dirty Purdy on it, Brock Purdy jersey, I will buy it from you. $100. Like, get it for me. I want that jersey. Amazing game. We're gonna, of course, break that down, talk about the future of the season, get into all that. But before we do, of course, we got to remind everybody to stay tuned to the end of the show to get your special 10% off coupon code for the faithful, by the faithful apparel, exclusively available at ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. Go ahead and help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of the video or podcast, and it'll take you directly where you can get your NFC West Championship gear. Go to SeatGiant. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Jason's fucking around in the background. Speaking of Jason, follow us on social media. On Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit ninerfaithfulradio.com/subscribe. Catch Jamie and Jason this Friday at 7 p.m. here on the West Coast for NFR Weekly News Wrap. We'll go ahead and get you the final injury update before the game and all that good stuff. And make sure you catch your game day shows. I will be going live at 12 p.m. here on the West Coast for pregame. Jason will be doing our halftime show, and then I will be back live at 9 p.m. here on the West Coast for the postgame show. We're going to go ahead and give Jamie the night off. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, division champion, San Francisco 49er fans. Let's get the show cracked.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
Doing, bro?
What is up, my man? It's a good feeling when the division champs and you can walk around downtown Seattle and be like, oh no, loser, 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 loser. Feels great, baby.
Oh, I'd imagine it's probably the best feeling in the entire world.
How you doing, Mimi?
Bubby was asking me. Let's see. Meaning can't wait for Saturday. I can't wait for Saturday either.
Yep.
This week's gonna go. Friday, your boy has a 9 to 5, which in a way I'm kind of glad because I think that work itself will go by slow, but at least I'll make some money. I think obviously excited for Niner football. I got my Niner Santa hat ready. And then, chill, open up some Christmas presents, drink some eggnog. Bubby and I are going to crack open the tequila, not the Niner tequila, but the Nothing Better. Johnny Dell Football Academy. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Go ahead, bro. Nothing better than celebrating a win. All right, let's pull up. Oh, wait. Can y'all hear us now? Let us know if you can hear us now. Nothing better than celebrating a win in the Shecocks Stadium. Yes, sir. Um, Johnny, let me know in the comment. Do you have the breakdown already available? I try to kind of watch it before Tuesday. Um, for those who don't know, Johnny Dell does amazing breakdowns of film.
He
I get for
does.
every game. Love watching his show. Teaches me so much. Yep. Damn. Okay. I was slacking in my Mac and I should have been up on that then. I
I
love
see it in my
watching it. It
subscribe
teaches me
stuff, but
so
I just
much.
haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. Johnny, we would love to get you on the show in the off season to break down some Niner football. But yeah, there's nothing better than that celebrating that. Bubby asked me, she says, all the losses that we got. I explained to her, I'm like, look, we've only won twice in Seattle since 2011. Obviously 2019, and then Thursday. And I said, and she goes, all those losses. Yes, sir. It's live. Awesome. So if she said, would you trade all those losses, but not get these two? I said the two that we've gotten minus the NFC Championship game. Obviously we would love to have had that one. But yeah, I would definitely take these ones because really, I mean, let's be real. Majority of those losses in Seattle, for the most part, especially after 2014, were meaningless games. When you talk about what was at stake, besides pride and things of that nature,
A
I'll
lot of
take
them
the
were
two
ass
wins that
whoopings,
meant the
honestly.
most. Being with the, I mean, they were.
You know,
It was
it
bad.
sucks to say, but
Um,
we got our asses kicked on quite a bit of those.
Yeah. And so then she goes, well, they don't have Russell Wilson and they're not, as good of a team. I was like, look, I'm never gonna apologize because I didn't hear him once apologize when we were trotting out Blaine Gabbert. Just
Right?
saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. When Tommy T was pacing the sideline, I didn't hear apology for those two wins that they got that year.
And Mike
Um,
Singletary was too busy looking at the tape
so
constantly.
oh god, I still can't. We gotta see the tape. Oh
Gotta
man.
go
You
see
know
tape.
what though? I will always give I will always give Mike Singletary credit for this. Vernon Davis doesn't make the catch three if Mike Singletary doesn't send him to the locker room that day.
Oh yeah. We,
That
Singletary.
changed
The only
Vernon
problem with
Davis's
Singletary
career.
is he should have never been a head coach. He's an amazing defensive coordinator,
No.
obviously one of the greatest linebackers of all
Mhm.
time. He should have never been a head coach. Not everybody
Yeah.
is meant to be a head coach, kind of a thing, and he was just one. But yeah, like I said,
I
I
think wrong
love the
error.
Hanger. Yeah, definitely the wrong era. He's 20
Because
years too
I
late.
yeah, I think see that's the thing I think that's awesome about Kyle and beyond his scheming offense and all those things is ultimately, and this is why I think John Harbaugh is a perfect example. Special teams coordinator. John Harbaugh wasn't an offensive guru. He wasn't a defensive guru. He's a special teams coach, but he could relate to people. He could get the best out of his players. He can
Amazing
hire
head
a
coach.
competent staff. Amazing head coach. And so I think that the opposite, we all know that Norv Turner, best example. I obviously think probably the most debilitating thing that happened in Alex Smith's career was losing Norv Turner. Let's not forget, before Harbaugh came, his best year was under Norv Turner. Norv Turner leaves. We hire Mike Martz. I believe it was Mike Martz right after that. And, as they say, the rest is history. But you and I were talking. It's clear that Kyle is more aggressive with Brock because that first touchdown drive. I mean, you and I were talking off air, and I looked at you and I said, Jason, the beautifulness of that play is the intricacies of it. The fact that the line has to protect long enough that you're going to fake two screens, a screen to Ray, and then a screen to CMC, step back, and then fire a deep ball down the middle to Kittle. The offensive line to protect that much. For Christian, who hasn't been here all year, which, I mean, he's got majority of the playbook, but there's no way he can know all the playbook.
I think he pretty
you
much
know,
got it
to
now.
be able to. And then for Barack, who, let's be real, I said off air, he's probably had the last real deal practice he had before he became the starter was for Iowa State. You know, he wasn't
Yeah,
practicing this season. He was running.
yeah,
He practices other teams' offenses more than he practiced ours this season.
yeah.
For
Scout team
all that,
quarterback.
and Kyle to have that trust, that's to me is that's the beautiful thing about this, and why, like you have said, I saw the picture that you post, you know, of Messi and Jordan, and it was Brock, and
Oh,
obviously it's
dude,
very
people that
tongue in
got in the
cheek and
feels of
everything
some
like
people. It's
that.
like, dude, man, just go with the joke. It's
Oh,
funny.
I mean, look, what we're of course Brock Purdy's not going to be the GOAT. Like that, it's a joke. People, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
okay, but like really, I mean, we cannot say what Brock Purdy can be because he clearly knows how to play the quarterback position. As
Yeah.
far as the experience at playing the quarterback position, the fundamentals of playing quarterback. I mean, he has more experience than Trey Lance at this point. We're
He's
looking at
had
Trey
more.
Lance as the future,
He's
not because of we're not looking at Trey's all potential of what he could be, his ceiling, the arm, the I wouldn't even say speed, but the athletic ability, which Brock Purdy is no slouch in that department. So
well, like I said, Brock has had
we
all the
don't know.
starts that we wanted to see Trey get this year. Next year, Brock has already
Mhm.
gone through all that training. You know, like I said, he may not be as gifted as Trey, but the reps and the mental side of it, he's all, you know, that part he's advanced past Trey. And I know that, you know, that's me. You know, how hard did I champion for Trey? You know, that's me saying that.
Oh yeah, I mean, do I think that Trey Lance is still the future? Yes, I think what we're seeing right now is that the Niners have the backup position settled. I think Brock Purdy's shown enough to be our backup quarterback next year. Uh, And that's an important position. As much as we could point to Jimmy, I mean, let's be real. How many games have we seen with Trey Lance? We've seen he started 4 games and he got hurt in 2 of them. I mean, half the games Trey Lance has played, he's gotten hurt in. Not his fault. Like you could say whatever. We've talked at nauseum about pointing to Kyle necessarily than Trey. That I would point to Kyle before I would say, "Oh, Trey's injury prone." You feel me? I think that the circumstances around it seem it's not like you know he got hurt carrying groceries to his car. He got hurt running up the middle and defensive lineman land on his leg. I mean,
You know,
a
same thing with like
300 plus
Jimmy's.
pound
It's
man
like,
landed on his leg.
and you know, same thing with Jimmy's injury. How often is
Yeah,
something that
pretty much
crazy? You know,
exactly like Jimmy's.
so
Your
it's just
leg
a
bends the way
freak
it's not
accident.
supposed to, and yeah, I mean, and so
It's like when
anyway,
I broke my toe. How
the
often
way
do you drop a
I
10-foot pallet on your toe and it breaks your fucking toe? Almost took the damn thing off.
and I mean, and really, even with Jimmy, the only injury that you could point to and say, "Hey, Jimmy, do this different next time," is the ACL, which is clearly, "Hey, Jimmy, get out of bounds, slide, whatever." That's the only one you
Yeah.
could. Were you going to tell Jimmy, "Don't have a D lineman land on your shoulder"?
Don't let some
Like,
guy jump on your
you
back
know,
and then land on your foot with his knee. Basically, it's like, come on.
yeah, like I mean, the same with Trey. Like, I mean, which, if I'm not mistaken, he was hurt while trying to slide, wasn't he? Trey? I believe he was trying to go into a slide when he was hurt.
Talking about last
Maybe I'm
year?
wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. No, this year. This year
Oh no. Oh,
against the
was
Shecocks.
he? Yeah, maybe he was diving head first. Maybe I don't remember. It's been a while.
Well, okay. He might have been diving
A
head
lot's
first. Okay,
happened since then.
but yeah, I completely. You know, honestly, it's so funny the roller coasters. And I looked at Bubby, and this morning it's funny. I looked at her and I was doing something, and she's like, "Wow, babe," and I was like, "Look, it's either in you or it's not, princess, Bubby. You know, you either wake up and this is a part of your spirit, you're part of your day, Like, putting on a Niner hat is just as much as, putting on deodorant, or it's not. And I looked at her, I said, the range of emotions of roller coasters that we've experienced this year should show you why we love it. I mean, you're talking about the low of losing Trey. Like I was generally depressed. You lose Trey, then you ride a 7-game win streak, you lose you think Debo's done for the season. Ready, like I physically had tears coming down my face. Then find out he'll be back at the beginning, the regular season. Kyle said that he is out this week. We do have some Kyle audio to get to. He said he's out this week essentially, but could potentially be back next week.
Yeah, next week if some crazy, say
how Kyle
wide receivers go down, kind of a thing.
Well, also I think essentially is if you tell Kyle that the 1 or 2 seed is essentially off the table, I don't think Debo comes back this season. I think the only reason Debo comes back, I think. Well, here, you know what? Let me play this because this is Kyle speaking on how they're going to treat the final 3 games.
I think you got to be smart. I mean, you never just want to stop. You can't lose your edge. It's not something you can turn on and off. At the same time, you do need to be smart. It's very important to get home games. So we'll do everything we can to do that, but by no means at the expense of risking someone that we shouldn't be doing.
And then on Javon, we'll get to the official
announcement. As long as the rehab
keeps
going well, we expect to start his window up this week in practice.
And then injuries from the game.
From the game, Mooney is going to be in the protocol. And Ambry Thomas, he'll be day-to-day. And Benny Gray with his hamstring MRIs were good, so he'll be day-to-day also.
So the only one that seems a little bit potentially worrisome there is Mooney Ward being in concussion protocol, just because you can't put a timetable on that. But officially, I have the announcement right here. The Niners have signed cornerback Trey Swilling from the team's practice squad, and additionally opened up the practice windows for Kalia Davis, non-football injury list, and Javon Kinlaw, injured reserve list. If we could get Kalia Davis in a limited role, obviously you wouldn't expect any type of significant role this late in the season with essentially no practice all year. But if we could get him and add just a little bit of Javon, I just need sprinkles. I just need Javon on running downs.
Yeah, I don't want Javon to start.
No.
But like you said, there's a lot of DJ Jones in Kalia. If we could get somewhat what we got out of DJ Jones with Kalia, especially like you said, down the stretch, that's just both of those guys coming in as rotation pieces. I mean, that gets me excited for the defensive line. Like we're already deadly as fuck on the defensive line. Now you add in 2 more guys like this who are pretty fresh, and we'll see how long Kinlaw goes with his with the knee swelling and the fluid and everything. But like you said, if he's just passing down, just running down, just something like that. Give me, obviously a pitch count. Give me 50% of the snaps with both of those 2 guys to rotate in the other guys and keep them even fresher. Yes, please.
I would take that. I would take that over anything because I think
obviously Javon's coming off the IR. Who's the last person? There's got to be Mitchell, right?
Yeah. Did they officially put Elijah on IR?
Yeah, he's on IR.
They officially. Then it has to be Elijah. Yeah, it has to be Elijah. And I think that's why you're seeing Jimmy hasn't been placed on IR, and I think that's why you're seeing that. I think the plan has been for. Go ahead.
I see people who want Trey to come off the IR too, but I don't see that one. But I get it. He's the shiny toy.
Of course, people want Trey to come off. IR, but my thing about this is, for what? If Kyle. Now we can't speak of that, so I want to put this with the asterisk because of we don't know because Trey would have had the almost a full year of experience. You don't know where Kyle's trust level had been. But if this game had been early in the year, does Kyle Shanahan call the game plan that he called for Brock Purdy as far as aggressiveness for Trey Lance, the way he was calling it for the 1 and a
No.
quarter game that he played this year? No.
No. Just
So
simply
to me,
for the
it's
fact that they're two
clearly
different
been
styles of quarterback.
yeah. Beyond all that, but the point I'm trying to get is Kyle clearly has the trust in Brock more
Oh, yeah.
than Trey as far as executing the offense. So I don't even see why you would bring Trey back at this point. For
Trey,
what? So you're going to use more than Elijah, who you at least know Elijah's going to contribute?
Yeah. The offense underneath
there's
Brock
no guarantee.
looks a lot like what the offense would have looked underneath Mac Jones had we drafted Mac Jones. Yeah, it's closer to that than what it is with Trey.
But I feel that with Brock, I feel like we can score touchdowns. I felt like with Robbie breaking his streak of 14 consecutive, I didn't feel like I felt like we could put the game away. I didn't feel like I felt like we were going to be aggressive and score touchdowns and just make it to the point where it's like, hey, you know what? You're not going to score what should have been 28 points. And we'll get to that in a second. But you're not going to score 24 points on this defense to beat us.
No.
Which really should have ended up being 27 because Robbie should have made that field goal. The TV showed that it was 67% makeability. So Robbie booted one. But you're just not going to score that many points on this defense. Yeah, I did my butthole get a little bit tight when it got to be one score game. A little bit because it was most of the game I felt like we had a cushion. So if Brock threw a pick, if CMC fumbled or something like that, you're like, okay, fine, we're still up a score. They kick a field goal, whatever. But with that one score game, that rookie moment could be oh shit, you just cost us the game instead of a whatever. It went to from a 21-3 game to a 21-10 game. No big deal. I feel better at this point with Brock under center just because I feel that he's not going to make a mistake. And when I say make a mistake, it's not going to be a fundamental. He hasn't had enough experience mistake. You might not see a linebacker. That happened in this game. He didn't see Diggs. Well, not a linebacker, but a safety. But he didn't see Diggs and should have threw a pick.
Yeah, he hit him in his hands. Didn't
so
he?
Those
he just dropped it, if I remember.
Yeah, he dropped it. It should have been a pick. Yeah, it should have been a pick. He dropped it. So, and ultimately, what I find most impressive about this game is that we dominate. I felt like we dominated this game. I felt like if this was any other team,
it was a bigger win than what the scoreboard made it look like. It was much more dominant than the score looked led on to be.
I'm not going to ever say the NFL's fixed or anything like that, but if there was ever we need to make this game not a blowout because it's on Amazon and they just paid us hundreds of millions of dollars, it was that Nick Bosa roughing the passer because this should have been 28-3 ball game because they're not scoring 31 points on this defense.
I don't know. The Commanders game,
to me, that's what it was. That's
what's his name pointed might have been an even bigger fuck up by the refs than even the Bosa one. I don't know if you saw that one. Terry McLaurin was on he lines up and he looks at everybody does, all wide receivers. They look at the ref, they do the whole point thing. The ref kind of goes like that, like, yeah, you're okay, don't worry about it. And then he throws the flag because he wasn't lined up on the line. It's like, motherfucker, you just told me I was on the damn line, and now you're gonna throw the flag on that. That was some bullshit.
That I would have been pissed about. I would have been pissed about.
It's not, and I know we have it because of Bosa and all his not penalties called. NFL refs are trash right now.
Yeah.
Just in general, they are trash.
it's I wonder why. Because it seems like a lot of the refs we grew up with and umpires and etc. that we grew up with seem to be retiring.
Yeah, they're all
So
gone.
is it just that and you know what? This is the most frustrating thing to me about college football is they talk about players, and the adjustment from college to the pros as far as like 1 foot in, in the pros you have to get to. I've never understood why they just don't make it
The
universal,
same.
especially as far as rules are concerned. Especially
Yeah.
as far as rules are concerned, because not only are you now asking players for new rules, but you're also asking officials to learn new rules. You're asking officials to, you know, and let's be real. I mean, this was for a division championship. Now, let's be real. The stakes were higher in 2019, albeit that was the last game. Even if we lost this game, I still believe that we win the division.
Yeah.
I don't think winning the division was in question. This is just about getting it done as soon as possible so that we could be in a position where, yeah, you know what? If the game doesn't matter, I'm not bringing Debo back in the regular season. I practice
Yeah.
him. I think these people should be practicing at whatever capacity that they can be, but I'm not putting them in a game that doesn't matter. I wouldn't even put him in. I would put him in the last game of the year. If it was like hey, you win and you clinch the second seed, like us and Minnesota are tied,
Oh yeah.
or
You
you
play
find
Debo.
out that Minnesota's losing, yeah, play
You
Debo.
play Debo.
The last game of the year,
Yeah.
yeah, you play
Without a
Debo. But
question.
if it doesn't matter, then no, I'm not playing him. And Kyle as much said something. He reiterated it today, saying like, look, if it's essentially like guys are like last year where it was like guys were fighting through injuries because we needed to win all those games. He goes, it will be like Trent Williams, for example. Trent Williams in the same situation he was in last year wouldn't be sniffing the field. Albeit,
Yeah.
yes, he did miss week 18, but he was trying to play in that game. Kyle said, like, if the same scenario happened this year, knock on wood, that any player is not sniffing the field. Kyle, as he said,
Oh yeah.
and I think ultimately what it brings down to is the football team, Minnesota, doesn't scare me. I think we're a better football team. I think there's no reason to believe that it wouldn't be a lot like last year in 2019. Haven't we seen this game? Our dominant defensive line overwhelms their offensive line, overwhelms Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins folds under pressure, and Niners win. I mean, I feel that what worries me is, look, say what you want about their history and choking in the Super Bowl. Fluky shit happens at that stadium.
You have
The play with New
Justin Jefferson on
Orleans.
that team.
I'm just saying. And
Look what
in
they
a
did this
one-score
weekend.
game, two-score games, that's what I'm saying, in that stadium.
Yeah.
With that crowd, I mean, it gets loud and it's in a dome. It gets loud. It's crazy. Vikings fans are legit. And then you're also in the dome. And let's be real, very well you might be dealing with the rookie quarterback. Because that would be the second. Yeah, it would be the second round. So it would be the divisional round. And I believe they said that the closest Jimmy could come back to the field would be championship game.
Yeah. NFC Championship game.
So
And even that's kind of pushing it. It'd be probably close
yeah.
to
So
the
you're
Super Bowl.
still, and at that point, I mean, if Brock Purdy's playing well enough that we're playing for the championship, like, I mean, do you even bring him back, Jimmy?
It all depends. I don't see it,
I mean,
but I see the case for it, but I wouldn't.
I mean, and this is what I'm saying. Like, if Brock throws 3 picks and we just win because we have a better defense and we win the game 17-10, and it's like, hey, if we don't have an elite defense, we don't win this ball game. Then yeah, you bring back Jimmy. But if Brock's playing as well, I'm not saying he's playing, Hall of Fame level, but is playing as well as now, I don't see why you bring back Jimmy, especially when it seems like you're more aggressive with Brock Purdy. Why would you bring if
Much
Kyle?
more
They say
aggressive.
Kyle's nature is to be aggressive. Kyle's nature is to be aggressive, and especially I feel with this type of defense. I feel because with this type of defense, Kyle can be more aggressive. Look how much he's gone for it on 4th down.
How
You can
long
be
we've been
more
screaming for that? How
aggressive, but
many
it's the
years?
fact is that, and it's like you can be like that because, for the reason we've said, Kyle, you have one of the best defenses in team history. If they can march down the field 70, 80, 90 yards on this defense, you tip your cap to them and you say, good job. And do that repetitively, over and over and over and over and over again throughout the game, enough to win the game, then you tip your cap to them. So I don't see really, unless Brock Purdy is, yeah. All right. I'll have to ask. Oh, well, we're trying to work on that and get a cord or do something to work on that. She's apparently supposed to pause everybody using Wi-Fi while I'm doing the show, but there's some shit I'll talk to you about in the Facebook chat later. Some questions I have anyway. I just don't see the reason you would bring back Jimmy if Brock is playing well.
You don't.
If it ain't broke,
It's
don't
just that
fix it.
simple. Why would you risk taking any sort of timing? Because you would think, come division playoffs, conference, Super Bowl, by then, Brock should be in his stride for the most part. He should be good to go. The timing with everybody, it should be, at its sharpest point by that time, because we're going to have, 7, 8 games by then. You'd expect somebody halfway through a season to start hitting that good midseason stride, which comes Super Bowl, NFC Championship time. That's where he should be right about then. So I don't care if it, like you said, it was Joe Montana, Steve Young, anybody coming back. You have to leave Brock in, unless, like you said, unless he is just throwing pick after pick after pick, and we got to think about putting Josh Johnson in. There's no reason to bring Jimmy back,
Yeah,
or at least to start him. You bring him back, but
because
there's no
Brock,
reason to start him.
I mean, even this game. So I want to be fair and give the fair analysis. It's not that we were some offensive juggernaut. I mean, when you look at final statistics, but it's so 3rd down efficiency, the Niners was 6 of 13. Hold on. I want it 46.2%. Hold on, I want to look at red zone. Red zone efficiency. Niners were 1 of 2 in the red zone. Wow, we only got to the red zone. Yeah, we only got in this red zone once, huh?
Yeah, everything else is right outside the red zone.
Twice. But yeah, there you go. So you look at 3rd down and red zone. Those are the two that I said Brock needed. Those were the areas that concern me. Red zone, just because red zone offense has been an issue all year. And 3rd down, because honestly, believe it or not, Jimmy was one of the most top tier quarterback when it came to 3rd down. Numbers just proved it out.
Yeah, he was efficient as shit on 3rd down. He's always been that way,
I'll take 40. I'll take. Yeah, he had that. That's actually one of the things you hang your head on Jimmy Garoppolo with, and they say 3rd down is the quarterback down. I'll take 46.2% on 3rd down all day, every day. I'll take that. And with this defense, if you tell me that 1 out of every 2 times we're in the red zone, we're going to score a touchdown, to me, that's a winning formula. And if Brock, because the final result, I mean, when you talk about, the results of drives was, okay, so first half was punt, touchdown, punt, touchdown, and a half. And then second half, touchdown, punt, missed field goal, end the game. So it wasn't like we were scoring on every drive,
No.
but it was the efficiency of the offense. Even that missed field goal drive, we took something like 7 minutes off the clock. It's that they talk about it. Greg Papa and Tim Ryan are always talking about Brock Purdy's management of the game clock. He doesn't snap it till 2. The awareness to stick the ball out over the goal line, knowing that, hey, it's not where my body is, it's what the ball is that determines. That essentially won us the ball game right there, bro. Him still going into a slide, protecting himself, but sticking the ball out to make sure it went over the yard, that won us the game.
And he got his arm out before the knee touched. He did that. He stuck the ball out and then went down.
Yeah. Trey doesn't do that. I don't believe.
Trey doesn't
or at least
slide.
I would have to see it. I haven't seen Trey do that. Exactly.
Yeah, Trey doesn't slide.
So
Trey still thinks
there you go.
Can truck people.
And you know what? Maybe Brock Purdy, and you know what? Maybe Brock Purdy not being 6'4" and 220 pounds and playing at North Dakota State, where he was essentially able to run over everybody, maybe that's more beneficial. Not his athletic. Obviously, Trey's a better athlete, all that. But you know what? The fact is that Trey's going to have to learn that. Trey's going to have to learn this. Brock's probably had to slide his whole life just because he's never been big enough not to have to slide.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was never the best athlete on the field like Trey Lance. When North Dakota played a team, Trey Lance was the best athlete on that field every time North Dakota State played a game. He was clearly the best athlete on the field. I don't think Brock Purdy's ever had that happen to him in his life. And I will say this,
twice,
and then I'll get your final thought.
Level that Trey was.
I'll put it to you this way. Okay, maybe once or twice, but not in college.
Yeah, I can see it in
college. There was no game that
he played. There's some cheap.
Okay, I wouldn't know who Iowa State played. Okay. I'll say that. I'll say that. Okay, fine. Without knowing every school that he played at Iowa State, maybe it is possible. But I will say this, and I'll let you give your final thoughts, Jason. NFL history says, and not necessarily round pick or whatever, but the highly touted athlete, quarterback, cannon arm, and everything is less likely to make it than the quarterback who was a 4-year starter at a school in the Big 12. You have more Drew Brees. Well, Drew Brees, who went to Purdue, not necessarily known as a quarterback powerhouse. Defense, yes, but Purdue's not known for producing quarterbacks. Not like he went to Notre Dame.
Well, and Notre Dame hasn't produced a halfway decent quarterback in 40 years. I think Rick Meyer was about as good as they got.
I think, truthfully, honestly, Notre Dame reminds me a lot of the Yankees. When I used to have an argument with Mary all the time about this, and I said, you know what? Yeah, okay, you're the Yankees, 29 World Series, Bronx Bombers, all that and everything like that. And I said, but truthfully, honestly, when you look since the Yankees' last World Series, the Giants have been to 3 times more World Series than the Yankees have.
Yeah.
And so the Yankees live a lot of what on the past success. Now, fine, they got Aaron Judge and all that, but let's be real, they live off of the early 2000s, 97, the 90s, all that. I feel kind of like Notre Dame's that. Where it's like, when has Notre Dame legitimately been like a legit national championship contender?
20 years when Lou Holtz was their coach. And even a couple years ago, I think they were playing Alabama in one of the first college.
Yeah, I believe they played Alabama.
And everybody was talking of, Notre Dame this. And I am a Notre Dame fan. I was like, look, Bama's about to run our shit over. And they're like, "Oh, you're just a stupid fan. You don't know what you're talking about." And then they just got run the fuck over. Like, look, I love me my Irish, but come on, man. This is Bama. Bama plays NFL. You know what I mean? They are an NFL school.
It's everybody always says that could a really great college team beat a bad pro team. There's been some Alabama teams in the past that I think if it's possible, they might have been able to do it. There's been enough bad NFL teams and enough good Alabama teams that I think there's some years that it could have been possible, or at least keep up with them. And maybe some fluke thing happens that you're like, all right, that's never going to happen again. But it only takes once.
Hey, at least half
all right, Jason,
Alabama teams end up going to the NFL at some point.
I mean, it's legitly. I mean, it's proven statistically. I believe it's like something like 80% of the NFL is from Texas, Florida, or Alabama.
Yeah.
It's like 80% of the NFL is either from Florida, Texas, or Alabama.
It is a ridiculous amount.
And it's something like, and really when you look at the other, states like California, it's majority quarterbacks, which I believe that will go down when Brady, Aaron Rodgers, when they retire.
Josh
who
Allen
else is from California in the league right now? Josh Allen's from Turlock.
So obviously Brady.
That's all I could. I already said Brady. That's all the quarterbacks I can think of from California right now. But
so you got
all right, Jason. Final thoughts on this?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Tom Brady, Carson Palmer, Matt Castle. Oh, these are all old guys. I was looking for somebody new, but they're just all mixed in there. Anyways.
Yeah, there's the point is that Alabama's just on a different level. But anyway, I believe that Notre Dame is probably just one of those schools that lives off the fact of the name. The name Notre Dame just means something, in college football.
But
hell, we wrote off. I feel the Niners are a little different. Just when you look from 2011, we've essentially been garbage in the NFC Championship game, and there's really been no in between. What was 2 Super Bowl appearances?
Yeah.
So at least, our championships. We live off of a championship that was almost 30 years ago. But as far as like legit football team, we've been in the conversation more than a lot of other teams. I know a few fan bases that would love to have the last decade the Niners have had. When you talk about 2011, you got 5 NFC championship games and 2 Super Bowl appearances. And
not too shabby.
3-4 division titles. Not too shabby at all. All right, final thoughts, Jason.
It was great to win the NFC Championship game here in Seattle. It's been a fun week of me just going haha to everybody. So, that's been fun. But like I have been posting a lot on the social medias, just like with the shirts that were going around 2019, the West is not enough. Yeah, it's nice. It's the first step into what we want. We definitely want, we got to we got to fight for a higher seed. Then we'll go get that conference championship, and then we'll go looking for that Super Bowl. So like I said, we celebrated for that one night, one day, or whatever it was. Yeah, the West is cool.
Yep.
All right, it's not enough. Let's stay hungry and keep going.
I couldn't agree anymore, bro. Proud. I'm proud to say that throughout the adversity, especially considering that I'm really proud of this team because there was a point we literally could have been 3-5 like last year.
Mm-hmm.
We were 2-4 after we lost to the Chiefs. And we could have been 3-4. Sorry, 3-4 after we lost to the Chiefs. And could have gone down that road. Now it was the Yams. But what impressed me more is that we didn't allow ourselves to go against that. And it was the Yams. We always beat them. But obviously, it's continued. It catapulted us forward. You would clearly say, go on to win the Super Bowl. They'll talk about the turning point of the season. They'll probably talk about the team meeting that happened in the locker room after that Chiefs game, and it'll be taught. It'll go down in Niner lore, like the players only meeting in '94. That basically said, hey, it'll be talked about. It'll go down in team history. So I'm very proud of this football team. All right, brother. We'll see you at halftime on Christmas.
You guys can also see us Friday night with Jamie.
Friday. Yeah. Friday. Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll see you Friday night, bro.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We'll thank Jason for tuning in and doing the first show tomorrow or Friday, and also on Christmas Eve. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but before we do, make sure you use the promo code Beat Washington to save 10% on all season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel, exclusively available at ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. You obviously saw Jason's Run CMC shirt. Y'all see my throwback player series shirt. Go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop to get yours. Make sure you help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. The link is in the description of this podcast or video. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit at ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. As Jason said, tune in Friday at 7 p.m. here on the West Coast for NFR Weekly News Wrap. And make sure you catch Jason at halftime on Sunday and me doing the pregame and postgame coming to you at noon and 9 p.m. here on those West Coast. I still see y'all next week. Oh, real quick. Kittlecorn, offensive MVP, Kittlecorn MVP of the week, 4 receptions, 92 yards. He's not human. And Charvarius Ward, 4 receptions allowed, 33 yards, and a fumble recovery. He's a monster. I got a bunch of notes right here real quick. 21st NFC West title since 1970. First time sweeping the Shecocks since 2011, 5-0 in the division for the first time since 2002. 7 straight game holding a team to 17 or fewer points, longest by the Niners since 1984. And Brock Purdy was the first Niner quarterback to go at least 9 of 9 in the first quarter since Jeff Garcia did it December 2nd, 2001. And first Niner quarterback with 3 straight games of 2 passing touchdowns. This is another interesting tidbit I got. The week after playing the Niners, teams are 1-12. I thought that was pretty interesting. We'll see what the Shecocks do. All right. We shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.